to our call for tonight. And I think we should be live here on YouTube. Okay, so good evening to you, Diana. Good to see you. And what we're going to do here is I'm going to take any questions that you might have. And if you have anything that you want us to take a shot at, we'll be happy to. I'm going to cover something brief, if not, but in general, if you're here and you've got questions, just feel free to write them in the box here on YouTube, and I'll be happy to address them. And this is our weekend Q&A, and it's a way for just me to just kind of give you some maybe some guardrails on what you're doing with your PLR. Hey, Dana. Okay, so if you, again, I'm going to move forward just briefly. If you have anything that you want to just write in there, that's fine. If not, then I'm just going to kind of talk about something briefly, and that is this. People who get whether it's our PLR or someone else's, one of the things that you sort of want to be in the mindset of. Now, again, I think when you're buying things like printables and planners, that might work differently, even though I think that the rule that I'm about to state is really going to work for this also. And that's this: everything really assumes that you're working on or building some kind of audience or list, because what you're basically going to be tasked with is rebranding the PLR. But if you're branding something, you're really trying to tailor it to people that are already going to be there to buy. And I've been in several groups, and I've seen where people say, well, I'm going to go buy ads to drive traffic to this PLR product. I don't think that that's a good idea if that's what you're doing, driving traffic using ads before you even know, if your rebranding is going to convert. But that really just kind of comes back to this to this really central concept. Everything really revolves around the audience or list that you're building. And if you're not doing anything else, right, on a daily basis, you've really got to be doing something to grow your audience or engage your audience or build your audience or get people into that marketing funnel. If you're not going to, and especially if you're going to work outside of what I call the make money online market, right, you've got to kind of be working on those things, and you got to work on it consciously. So whatever your daily plan has got to be, one of the things you're doing has got to be to get new customers in, so that you'll have somebody to sell the PLR to. And so everything really assumes that. On Thursdays, I've been doing a private training for our ultimate insiders called Extreme Business Makeover. And at the beginning of every session, I go over what I call an insider success path. And I would just want to kind of lay this out again, because if you don't have a way to build your audience, I'm just going to give you the 50,000 foot view. And I'll just let you know that we're working through this step by step on Thursdays. So here's the success path again. Basically, you're going to enter into your market, whatever it is. It can be survivalist, it can be weight loss, it can be, it doesn't matter what it is. It can be your local area. You're going to position yourself as somebody who is a provider of information. So you're not going in saying, I know everything. I am the chief. I've got the most experience. I'm, just at the top of the heap, unless you really are. Now, if you're there, right, and you're really at the top of the pile, you can go and you can say that, then I suggest you do that. But quite honestly, when you go in as an educator, if you're really at the top of the heap, you don't have to tell anybody that. It's going to be evident in the things you talk about. So always, if you don't have a way of a point of entry, right, go into your market as an educator. Right, go in as someone who is going to be this provider of information, and even go in with that mindset. So you're not trying to outmaneuver anybody. In fact, you are going to be able to partner with people a lot easier when you go in as an educator. So again, if you don't have an audience yet, and your list isn't what you want it to be yet, you should go in to choose a market first of all. And it doesn't have to be one that's all where all the keywords indicate that there's no competition and there's going to be high engagement. Those things are great, but I don't know if those markets exist anymore, because everybody's now got software to everybody's got software to kind of find the best the best alternative, right? And so you got to go into your market and decide you're going to be an educator, and then start teaching. So before you have the audience, you have to start teaching. And so you need to be as regular as Tuesday. If you're going to be an every Tuesday person, you're going to be an every Tuesday guy, you're going to be an every Tuesday lady, you got to be every Tuesday. And just set that date so that people know at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can join me here. And when you start going places, right, or you put in your, let's say you write a Kindle book, you want to make sure you write in that Kindle book, on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m., we do a workshop, or whatever you want to call it. Don't have to call it a workshop, but basically it can be 30 minutes to an hour where you're just going to wax eloquent about something, whatever your niche is. And this is going to be your content base. This is going to be your product base. This is going to be where you're going to launch from, where you're going to tell people what's coming in your business. But you should be doing this. And basically all it says is, I'm trustworthy. It basically says, I'm going to be here. It basically says, I know what I'm talking about. And you prove it by doing it live. So again, position yourself as an educator, do a weekly workshop, build a product snowball. So what are you going to sell at every workshop? What are you going to announce you have at the end of every workshop? Again, you're not going to get a gazillion sales, but you don't ever want to do a workshop without saying, I've got something really cool for you to buy. And it really does help if you've always got something new. So you don't, maybe you may not have something new every week, but if you can, you want to have something. Every week you do a workshop, and this is really where you have your PLR come into play. So you take your PLR and you bundle it up and you put something together every single week. And again, that might be a stretch for you, and you might not be there at this point. I think that if you are like most people, if you took every PLR package you have and you decided you were going to put a buy button on it and then make it available for sale every week, you'd have something. Now, we talk about on Thursday nights, we talk about a particular way of being able to do this, making sure that the funnel is structured a specific way. I don't have time to go through all that here, but I think that you should do that. Create a content factory. So basically, whether it is through your workshop or whether it is through some other means, you should have an idea factory. Your content factory is going to come from something. So, if you're going to, let's say, do a vlog, and the vlog is going to be about e-commerce, you're going to be talking about your experience. So in other words, your content factory really comes out of something that you can talk about every day. A lot of people are really doing what I call stream of consciousness, or basically they're just taking a slice of life and talking about that every day. But what makes it a content factory is that you're doing something. So in other words, take the thing where you're doing something, or you've done something for so much that you could take an experience every single day and talk about it, or every single week. So if you had to think about something that you're doing that you could create a blog post on every single week, that's your content factory. And if you don't have a content factory, you've really got to be doing something or experiencing something or reading something that you can teach your audience about every single day, every single week, every single month, however often you're going to give them content. And basically, this can serve as the basis for your weekly workshop, but your content factory has got to be what you produce from. And what you produce from has got to be something that you're uniquely doing. Because otherwise, if it's just you're going to get some content, you're going to teach from, let's say, something that you got in a PLR package, that's fine. But you want to be able to add something to it that's unique. If I can come to you and get something that I cannot get elsewhere else, right? We always talk about having a USP. then your workshop, your content should really have some flavor in it that is different from everything else. For example, one of the things that we are involved in, both my wife and I, is that we are looking to get traffic to our weekly workshop. And so there are experiences that we could talk about on a day-to-day basis. Now, we need to be able to articulate them and communicate them, but the content factory is the activity. So in other words, it's not what we got, it's an experience that we have. It's something that we're doing that produces the content. It produces unique content. It could be conversations that you have. So in other words, let's say that you are in the process of partnering, or you're in the process of doing a JV part. Maybe the name, you want to keep the names to remain innocent, but you are having these experiences every single day. And you want to be able to talk about those experiences, and those experiences are the thing that produce your content. So that's really how you're going to do it. You just got to have something that's unique, a content factory. Build a massive network. This is probably the unsung hero of the whole process. One of the things we're talking about in a strategic marketing playbook is having and building marketing alliances. In fact, on Wednesday, right? If you have our strategic marketing playbook product, we're going to be talking to Jean Kalinda, and Jean Kalinda basically broke into being an information product creator from having no audience, having no list, having no contacts, but she broke into it, and she's got a unique take on this that she's going to be sharing with you on Wednesday, right? So hopefully you have our new product, and make sure you sign up for that session. She's going to be talking about that. But you should always be building a massive network, finding potential partners, finding people who are going to be potential affiliates, and you should always have these people, because you don't want to ever have to depend on anyone ever. One of the things you have to really be careful about is really getting locked into whether it is affiliate partners or JV partners. You don't ever want to be to the point where somebody can, let's say, get between you and a customer base. You want to always have a network of people that, if someone just starts to get a little flaky, and Dan Kennedy says that all partnerships go lame. They do. At some point, it doesn't matter how cool the people are, how good the people are. All partnerships hit roadblocks. And there is just going to be a point at which, you're going to go one way and your partner's going to go the other way. You've got to have a big enough network so that one partner cannot do damage to your business or to your livelihood. And you've got to always be building that. Just as I've said, you've got to always be building your list. You should always be building a massive network, because in fact, if you're building a massive network, you're going to be able to build your list. It's not going to be a problem. So these are things that on Thursdays, we're going to be working out. Well, we're calling it Extreme Business Makeover. It's private only. It's for ultimate insiders only. And we're going through the details of that step by step, week by week. Now, the massive network really is going to be something that is you've got to have multiples. And the only way that you do that, most of you who are on this call, who are listening to this, whether you're listening to it by archive or whether you're listening to it by, you're listening to this live, you're probably a little more mature. You've had some life experience, and you've done this in your own life. The internet's really no different. And I talked about this on Thursday night with Ultimate Insiders. Really and truly, the concept is build your well before you're thirsty. Build relationships. Get to know people. Maybe somebody can bring you a big audience, but when you get to know them, they're not the kind of person you'd really want to introduce to your audience, and you may not want their customers. And so sometimes what you can do is, I've seen a number of people, and I've talked about this on several occasions, you can buy your way into a market, right? And I've seen that where you get access to someone's list, right? I did that, right? I got access to someone's list. It just so happened that person was someone who had my audience. They sold the same product, and it was a good start. There were times when I almost did, and I'm glad I didn't in other cases. But regardless, you can buy your way in. But let's say that you don't want to buy your way in, or let's say that at this point you don't really want to invest those resources into buying your way into having a network. You've got to work at it. And I want to come back to just make sure you know that our discussion with Jean is really going to be helpful to that. She's got a really unique way, and it's one that I've experienced, that you can build a network of people who will promote for you, who will become a syndicate for you, who will be the people that you know personally. I've seen it happen in social media, although again, I'd say be careful about depending on when you develop on social media, right? These relationships are those that they work the same way. At least I found they do. They work very well when you can talk to someone face to face, at least by Zoom or by go to web or some kind of web presence, right? When you've actually seen somebody, you've talked to them. So build a massive network. Become a media mogul. And so we talk about this on Thursdays. Master one media. It could be, do you decide you're going to master YouTube? You're going to decide to be a blogger. I know some people who are excellent bloggers, and they're all into search. They're all in on trying to figure out what the keywords are on their blog, and they do a great job of it. They probably aren't going to be great at blogging and podcasting and YouTube. Now, there's some people who are, right? But it's hard to do that when you start. I'd say that if you don't have a way that you're driving traffic right now, decide on what you do best. Decide on what you are. I don't like the word passionate, but I guess the area in which you find it easiest to provide the most value to people, right? So if you don't have to work at it and you like to do live presentations like I'm doing now, if that's what you like doing, then do those. Now, just so that you'll know, when you decide to be a media mogul, it's going to take time. You can't get discouraged because you started a month ago and the traffic's not pouring in. Okay, I'm going to abandon this. I'm going to now do Facebook. The way content works is that you build on it for a long time, and then there's a tipping point at which I don't know. I don't know if it's magic. I don't know if it's the algorithm or some combination of it, or somebody finds out about you. All of a sudden, it gets turned on, and then that's when all of that traffic happens for you. So when you decide to master a medium, you decide to be a media mogul, it's probably going to mean you're going to buy everything there is on that subject. But here's the good part of that. You get to stop buying all the other stuff. So in other words, you get to stop buying. If you're going to master, let's say, YouTube, that means you get to stop buying stuff on podcasting. That means you get to stop buying stuff on SEO. That means you get to stop buying stuff on Facebook. You get to stop buying stuff on all these other methods, and you just focus your attention on the medium you're going to master. So if you don't have a list that you're engaging right now, right? Position yourself as the educator, start doing a weekly workshop, build a product snowball, create that content factory where you've got some activity that gives you content, build a network of people every single day, and then master one media. This is something that, again, every PLR product assumes that you have an audience. And if you don't have one, that you're building one, that you have somebody you're going to have the stuff to sell to people. And then once you actually have, and you have started the process of being a media mogul, get into production mode. And so basically what that means is figure out what it takes for you to sell a product. So whether you're going to sell it on your workshop, whether you're going to sell it to your list that you're building. So figure out how to produce. And I'm going to give you a benchmark. And this is going to be aggressive for you. But if you try to do this and it doesn't work, then you can always scale it back. Try to get into production mode where you're taking your PLR in particular your PLR videos, and turning it into one product launch every week and launch them. Now, that might take some maneuvering of your schedule, and that might be aggressive, but it's necessary. If you're doing a weekly workshop, you should have something new every week. And you should be telling people, I've got this thing coming every single week. Now, getting into production mode is no small thing. And this, it almost kind of looks in this list of things like it's least important. And all these things are important that I'm telling you. Every single one of them I've learned from the school of hard knocks. And they are hard to do. None of them are going to be easy. None of them are going to produce instant results. But when you put all of these things together, what you're going to have is you're going to have an info product business that doesn't depend on anybody. I know, and there have been times in my own business where I would cry the blues because somebody would not promote for me, right? And it was a reality check that, hey, you know what? Affiliates go where they can find the most money. And you know, on a particular day, they might go with somebody else. Loyalty means nothing. And I don't say that in a negative way. I'm just saying that in the, especially in the make money online space, that may not be this way outside the make money online space, but in the make money online space, for the most part, if you're not going to find people who are going to promote for you just because they're your friends. And so you've got to get over that, and you've got to be in production mode. You've got to always have something new, and you've got to always have something so that, you know, again, you're just not dependent on any one person outside of yourself in terms of what you're producing. Now, I'm not talking about your outsourcing staff and the people that are working with you and the people that are, you know, producing, you know, they are under you, so to speak. I'm not talking about those people. You have to depend on them to some degree, but even then, you don't want to be too dependent on them. Get into production mode is what you have to do. Build a learning center. And one of the things that you're going to find is that when this becomes your signature offer, you should have a signature offer to give people. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to build a signature offer. You're going to give people the opportunity to get access to it monthly. Now, one of the things that we're going to be talking about on Thursday, and I'm not really sure when we're going to talk about this, is, and I don't have it here, and I really should add this in, and maybe it's going to come after the last point. You need to raise up your own affiliates. So in other words, one of the things that you're going to be doing is you're going to be doing the same thing that I'd say a lot of, I see a lot of people doing this, and it really does work. I'm trying to think of a good example. Going back a long way, I'd say Site Build It. If you remember them, if you're listening to them, you remember Site Build It. They recruited and built their own affiliates. Now, the only thing that you've got to be careful about this is that you don't want people to say that the only reason that they bought your product was because they wanted to get the opportunity to promote it. That puts you in the category of make money online. So you got to keep a real firewall between you and people being able to promote. In fact, you want to make sure it's clear that, you know, a person doesn't have to have a customer relationship with you in order to promote your product, even though, you know, you could just put your affiliate link out there and just say, you know, if I don't know you, I'm not going to allow you to promote. But you want to make sure it's not, there's no confusion on the fact that a person has to buy your product in order to promote. That being said, when you have a learning center, what you have is you have a high ticket product for someone to promote. And then what you can do is when you have something that will give people a recurring commission, you can then get, you know, an affiliate who will have an incentive to go out and promote for you. Now, the learning center in and of itself is something that, you know, it would take me a long time to really kind of explain to you, you know, exactly what that is. But basically what you're doing is you're giving people a place where they can come and get all the content they need in order to learn in order to get what they need to have success in what you're teaching them. You're putting it all in one place. You're going to pay you monthly. Now, you know, you can experiment with it and you can give them maybe an annual price. Some people like the lifetime price. Personally, I don't like that because, you know, when you start talking about lifetime, I don't think that payment processors like that language. And then also it puts you on the hook to have to produce forever. And so, and also it's just, it really does not incentivize you to continue to produce. Right. So again, and again, I can get into all this. I mean, if you're an Ultimate Insider, you'll be inside. I get into what it means to create a learning center. And if you've got PLR, you should be producing a learning center. It should be your signature offer. It should be your membership site, your everything. And you're going to give people, and you're going to continue to add value to it, so it increases in value over time. And finally, create community. And so what you're going to do around your learning center, both inside the learning center and outside the learning center, is you're going to create a community. Now, this is kind of hard these days because people are on Facebook. However, that still does not mean that you do not put forth the effort. You should be building some kind of system that people can kind of come to you and build a community. Always work at your own community. Now, again, I'm all for Facebook groups, and I know they work. And they are great. However, I also know that I've seen, and everybody who's on this call, whether you're watching it on as an archive, you've all seen cases where Facebook decides, I don't like that, I'm going to shut it down. And sometimes they figure out, oh, well, you know, it wasn't a problem, I'm going to give you your group back. Sometimes it's after a day, sometimes after a week, sometimes after a month. If your income depends on Facebook having a group available for you, then what you've done effectively is you've built your business based on what someone else is going to do. And again, I mean, you could take that, you know, what I just said, you could take it to a lot, you know, to an extreme. I'm just saying, though, you got to be careful about building your entire business around a Facebook group, because it's not your business, right? And they're not in the business of running your business. And so if they don't like your content for whatever the reason, right, it could be a mistake. They can then say, I don't like that group, I'm going to shut it down. There's too much. Or someone decides they don't like you, they're going to go to Facebook and complain about you, right? And Facebook is going to take them seriously and say, oh, you know, I feel unsafe in this group. Well, you know what? That means then that Facebook has got to cover their own rear end, right? They're not evil, but they're a business. They don't want to get sued. They're going to say, you know what? We're going to shut this thing down. And I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm saying create a community and look at alternatives to create your own community, right? Make sure you've got a community that does not depend on anybody else. Again, I've seen people run their entire community from YouTube, and it works like gangbusters because that's where they create their content. I think that's a great thing to do. I still think that in addition to having your list, once you have built your learning center, you need to build a community around the learning center, around your philosophy, around your set of rules. And again, it takes time to build. You've got to be patient. You've got to keep working at it. But eventually you want to have a place where you can communicate with people that's not on social media, that doesn't depend on them running it, doesn't depend on them liking it, and it has your stamp on it. And so this is something that, again, you can actually do. Now, again, the only thing I would add to this, and I'm going to add to this when I teach this in the future, is that you need to raise up your own affiliate army, right? You need to raise up your own affiliate army from scratch. Now, it doesn't mean so you can also have the affiliates that you get from the Make Money Online market and your partnerships, right? That we talked about, and building a massive network. But basically what you're doing, especially those of you who are teaching people how to run their business, raise up your own affiliate army. And what you want to do is, what's the best product for people to promote? If you're going to teach them how to be an affiliate, you should be educating a group of people that are just getting started in online business, how to be an affiliate. And the best product for them to learn how to promote is going to be your signature offer. Right now, again, you may or may not want them to promote your product Snowball. That's fine, but definitely want people who know and understand you and your business to promote your signature offer. And that's one of the benefits of having a learning center, that you're going to have a continuity offer, or even if you decide to turn it into I'd say a yearly, right, where you're going to say you're going to charge, I don't know, $297, $397 for the entire year. right? That's a good incentive for people to go out and promote for you, even people who are going to be new. There's something psychological about the number 300. And if you don't believe me, I've I can tell you that if you decide you're going to build, let's say, a Facebook group around a product you're creating, right? If there's enough interest in that product, people will do and go to great lengths to promote for you if that product's going to be $300, if they can see their way clear to make their money, right? It's just a fact of life. And so there's nothing magic about it, but it just works, right? It just does. Okay, so any questions? Any questions? Right? Any questions? Okay, our most recent PLR video course is plrshow.com/new. As of right at this moment, when you're watching this, this is going to be our strategic marketing playbook. Again, inside of that package is going to be a two subject matter expert interviews. One with Gene Kalinda, I'm really excited about. This is going to be Wednesday night. And there's going to be another one with Steve Rosenbaum on Monday morning. Both of those are going to be unique, really packages that are going to help you in ways to not only do well with the PLR, but also to build your business in some ways that you won't be able to find anyplace else. Make sure you have our free PLR Academy. You can get that at plrshow.com. Just go ahead and go through the purchase process. It's free. Right? It's free of charge. You're just going to go through the process, and then you'll have access to our free PLR Academy. And then you'll be part of our daily newsletter, and we talk about PLR every single day. So make sure you go over there, plrshow.com, go through it's not really a purchase process because it's going to be free. You're going to get access to it, and then you'll be on our daily newsletter. Now, most importantly, I think that, I talked about being an ultimate insider. This is where we do, the bulk of our training and the bulk of really trying to make sure that we're serving the insiders. So yes, every ultimate insider gets, one PLR package every single month. That's the basis of it. But we're really looking to, serve our audience to make sure that, they've got everything they need to succeed. One of the things that we're doing is we're doing a weekly training. And we're as I said, we call it Extreme Business Makeover Live because we're walking through that whole process. So everything that you saw in the success path, we're walking through, with ultimate insiders, right? And so, it's our way of being able to commit to them and to help them to achieve that success, so that they don't have to assume that, that the product assume that, they have a list. They're going to be building their own. Right. And that's going to be you if you make sure you're part of us at plrshow.com/insider training, and you'll be an ultimate insider. So again, plrshow.com/insider training. Get one PLR funnel every single month, and then also Extreme Business Makeover Live, which is going to be really cool. There's one really cool aspect to this that I sort of want to say it. I sort of don't. I kind of want to keep that just kind of a secret, maybe for the ultimate insiders, but that is what it is. Okay, so. That being said, thank you very much, everybody. If you have benefited from this, I'm going to ask you to do me a favor. Head to the plrshow.com/shout and give us a shout out, and just let people know that this has been beneficial to you. And then we put these in our sales pages and our workshop pages, and we put this stuff so people know that they're getting value from what we're doing. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I get you, Diana. Yeah. No, I totally get you. I wasn't. Yeah. So I'm anxious to see your response. Okay, everybody. So thank you very much for hanging out with me here. Appreciate you all being out here. Have a great night and a pleasant tomorrow. Take care.